Okay, so MLA, I know that you've been working on MLA last year, and I know you worked on MLA in 8th grade as well, but it seems like it's always something that when you get here, you either forget or you haven't quite got it down yet. So I always like to, in the very beginning of the year, spend some time on it so that way we're all on the same page. Okay? So, first of all, I do not allow you whatsoever to use any kind of citation machine in this class. You should know how to cite something completely on your own. Now, am I saying you have to memorize it? Absolutely not. Because do I know it? Absolutely not. And I teach it. But you will be needing to use this resource right here called Purdue OWL Online Writing Lab. On the left side, you'll see MLA Formatting and Style Guide. You'll click it. And here it will have all the information for you. It'll have how to do, right over here. Don't mind this little ad. Right here. So it'll have books. So it'll show you how that you can cite books with one author, more than one author, 2 or more books by the same author. It has every scenario you can think of. Go back over here. Electronic sources. So that would be your entire website, just a page on a website, an ebook, an image, article in a magazine, article on a scholarly journal. You get my point. It has all the different online sources. So when you're asked to cite something, this is the site that I assume and am requiring you to use. Typically, you'll use this one a lot, a page on a website. Sometimes you'll use just the website one too. Okay? So this is what it looks like. This is what you're going to be using. A lot of people will plug something in here. Don't do it. Just because it's on this page, if you look right here, it says powered by citation machine. This is an advertisement, and it takes you to a citation machine, which is what I said you cannot use, right? So don't think that if you just plug and chug it into here, that you're automatically getting this, because it's not. It's outsourcing it. This is literally just an ad. So don't let that trick you. Okay, so back to this. You're going to go ahead in just a moment and make a copy of this sheet for yourself so that way you have it. I suggest bookmarking it and saving it for yourself so it's easy to access so that way you're able to recall and revisit it when you're writing. Why don't you go ahead and do that now? Go ahead and make a copy of it for yourself. Okay, now that you've made a copy for yourself, we're going to look at the different MLA formatting here. So I've made you this quick chart so you don't have to go to this website, but only for these 3 sources. Okay, so if you obviously have a different source, you need to go actually to the website and look it up. The first one is a book, citing a book. So when citing a book, you do last name, comma, first name, period, title of the book in italics, period, city of publication, comma, publisher, comma, publishing date, period. So all that information is usually found in the first couple of pages of that book. I cited The Crucible for you. Usually you guys would have textbooks. We don't have textbooks right now, so I cited this one for you. It says Miller, comma, Arthur, so that's Arthur Miller is the author. The Crucible is the name, so it's in italics. It was published in New York by Penguin Books in 1987. Notice the punctuation and the placement of punctuation is important. So when you are citing, make sure you're putting the punctuation in the places that it needs to go. Now this would be for your works cited page. But we also have to have parenthetical citations as well, meaning inside the paper when you use a quote from that source. In text, it would look like this. Miller, and then the page number. So the author and the page number. Notice that the punctuation for the sentence goes directly after the citation. There is no punctuation before it. So for example, if it said, the quote was blah, 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 I'd put Miller, 68, and then goes the period. Okay, so don't be putting a period here. For heaven's sakes, don't put a period here. It goes at the end. Or if it's an exclamation point, it goes at the end. Okay. Moving on. If your book has no author, most books have an author, but if your book had no author, you would put the title of the book in italics and then the page number. Moving on. An article on a website. That's the last name, comma first, and then the article title and quotation marks, name of the website in italics, link to the page, and then an access date. Access date means the date you looked at it. And that's important because sometimes websites update articles. And so if you cite something from today and they change it tomorrow, you don't want to look like you're not credible. We could always go back to today and look at the archives and see what it said today, so that way it doesn't look like you're not a credible writer. We're going to practice doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you open up this article right here, and I want you to cite it directly underneath it using this information. I'll give you a minute to try it, and then you'll compare with me to see if you got it correct. Okay, so make sure you compare yours with mine to make sure that you've done it correctly. Now in text, parenthetically, if we were to put this in our paper, we'd have the last name, and then you can put the page number if there's more than one page, or you can put the paragraph number, like paragraph 2. And then at the end of it, it needs to go a period. You only put the paragraph number if it's only one page. If it's one page, then obviously we need to know what paragraph. If it's more than one page, we need to know the page number. Let's try citing this one. This one is last name, comma first, website title, publisher, company date, link to website, and then access date. This is an entire website, so we're not just citing the article, we're citing the entire website. For an entire website, there's probably not going to be an author. So if there's no author, you skip the author part and start just with the website title. So like for example, the website title here is USA Today, and then you continue on with the rest. Okay, so now if you're going to do an in-text version, there's no author, so you would start with the website title in italics, and then not in italics. If there's no page number, you could put 1 or whatever the paragraph number is on that website. Okay, so now that we've practiced citing, we're going to create a works cited page to put these on. So if you could go ahead and open up a blank document. We're going to take a look at what does a works cited need? Well, it needs the words works cited centered at the top of its own page. So we're going to write works cited. We are going to center that. You're going to want to make sure that this is in Times New Roman size 12 because that is typical MLA format. Size 12 Times New Roman. Once you've got the word works cited, you can go ahead and left align again. We're going to then look. Sources are in alphabetical order. So here's our sources. I'm just going to copy them down. And then I'll arrange them in alphabetical order once I get them all down. And I will make sure they're all in Times New Roman 12 as well. So I will change this all. Times New Roman 12. So mine are in alphabetical order, right? We have MI, MO, and USA. So those are in alphabetical order. It says they have a hanging indentation. So what you're going to do for that is obviously this one's not going to have an indentation because it's only one line. But this one is going to need a hanging indentation. So please highlight that whole text. You're going to go up here to this little pizza dude. And you're going to grab just the cheese part of the pizza. And it's going to actually bring the whole thing. And bring it over to 0.5 at the top and let go. Then you're going to grab the crust only and drag that crust back to that gray and white line. And now you have a hanging indentation. It's much easier that way. It's a lot less work than having to tab all the time. Now we have to make this double space because this looks very crowded. So you'd go up to your spacing, oops, and click double. We also have to hanging indent this one. So we grab our cheese, pull it to the half, take the crust, pull it back to the gray, and then double space. And now if we zoom out, we have our works cited page. Okay, so now you have your example works cited page. This is what a works cited page should look like. So I want you to save this as the title, example works cited page. So that way you can reference this later when you're writing.